Brad Garlinghouse weighing in on the SEC case. Because the question is it actually resolved? He says it best here. Ripple won the lawsuit against the SEC clear as day, with the SEC losing on all major points. Yes, they got some securities violations that will amount to some kind of fines and penalties, but that's not what they're after here. That money that they win, that's not going to go into Gary Gensler's pocket. It's not even going to go into the SEC's coffers, right? That means nothing. What they're after here is power. And every single issue that would have gave the SEC more power over crypto, they lost and lost badly. Furthermore, we had a great judge that really drew a line in the sand and had logic really separating what would be a security offering between just a straight commodity sale. Clear as day, logical. Their chances on appeal are not good. And if anything, would just cement this decision even more so. This is what's really interesting. I don't know what the numbers are. I know when they were discussing Brad and Chris, 95% of their sales occurred overseas, maybe even a little more than that. Is Ripple similar in terms of were most of their sales overseas to institutions? Those sales, 770 million that were deemed a securities offering. Because if that's the case, what the SEC can actually squeeze out of them here is peanuts. It'll be laughable. It'll be a joke. The SEC probably would have spent more on just resources to get those than they'll collect. And it's not going to be a good situation. This is really Gary Gensler's last chance here to try to salvage some sort of win here that he could, show to the world, look, we won, we got a settlement, we brought Ripple into compliance. Because I think the longer this thing goes on, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. Furthermore, we see Brad Garlinghouse urging the SEC to adopt clearer crypto regulations. And he goes on to say that he is hopeful about the next decade and he believes a positive set of rules for the U.S. crypto scene is just around the corner. We see how this is playing out, and I don't think he's wrong. BlackRock, Fidelity, major players, ambiguity ain't going to work for them. This ain't, Grayscale and the Winklevoss twins anymore. You're not going to be able to push these people around. They're going to get clear rules, and I bet they also get Congress to act. And I think the SEC only has so much time to wrap all this stuff up between Coinbase and this ongoing Ripple case and some of the other stuff they got going on. They better get going because they're going to run out of road here and do so quickly. And they are no longer firing from a point of really power here. They're going to have to make a lot of concessions, and I bet you that they do. Now, we see this post by the Bearable Bull. This next week should be the last pullback we see as we head into the 2024 bull run. Look, I think 2024 is going to be amazing. I think we may get a little bit of a pullback, and I'll tell you why. I'm not so sure the SEC is going to approve this round of ETFs. It's sure looking like it. The market sure feels that it's going to happen. I could see the SEC kicking it down just a little ways down the road and making a big deal out of this custody situation. And I think they would be right to some degree. There should be a segregation between custody and the trading function of these exchanges. Now, BlackRock, Fidelity, they think they got it, the package together here that can get the ETF across the finish line. They would know more than me. But if it does get, delayed just a little bit, don't worry. It's still on its way. We're going to get it. It's happening in 2024. But if we have any problems in January next year and this batch gets denied, you can see one more dip down. Now, I wouldn't bet my future on that happening. I'm ready. I keep acquiring quality cryptos leading into the next year because this ain't a game of perfect. We are just getting ready for that next bull run, and it is here. It is so close, and we'll just have to see it play out. My main point of bringing that up is don't freak out if there is a little bit of a setback here with this ETF stuff. Yes, it'll cause prices to go down a little bit, but it's going to be very short-term in nature. It is happening. It is on the cusp here of transitioning from a hobbyist-level asset class to a real powerhouse globally, and you have to respect that, and you have to understand that. We are close, whether we get it in January or some other time in 2024. It's going to be a crazy, crazy ride. Crazy rumors coming out of OpenAI. Now they're saying, there might have been a massive breakthrough that spooked the board. This makes a lot of sense to me because if you understand how OpenAI is set up, it's a not-for-profit essentially. Even though it's been captured by Microsoft, their board is made up of essentially not-for-profit people. They don't care about business and making money. And the general idea of this originally was safety, right? And so I think the CEO was pushing through some stuff that may not be ultimately so safe, or at least it has the appearance of something that could go wrong. And of course, Microsoft, the company that's all about profit, that has captured this entity, they've made OpenAI take him back because they don't care about none of that stuff. They need to keep pushing ahead. And what they're saying, if you understand what OpenAI has been doing with these large language models, they're not good at math. And now they have this Q-star model that is highly capable of math. Now, it may not be doing the most advanced math, but what it is doing is very good. And it also is coming up with ways to improve itself. And so this is very troublesome in terms of, it has a non-human way of looking at solving these math problems, and potentially it could be a big security risk in terms of cryptography. Now, I'm not talking about just cryptocurrencies. We're talking about just online security, financial systems, military systems. This is a big deal. Big things are going on at OpenAI and also just generally within, artificial intelligence. Keep an eye on this space. But I think they have had a massive breakthrough there. And if these models are getting good at math, watch out, because AGI will just be around the corner. This is another level of logic and reasoning and learning that we have not seen before. And while this can be quite scary, it's also a huge advancement where a lot of good things can come of it. So we'll have to see how it plays out. But AI is just starting to really heat up, and I think it's going to do more so in 2024. Going to be a big year for crypto and a big year for artificial intelligence. And I think we're going to see breakthrough in terms of actually functioning models that'll start to change business at the first part of 2025. I think we're about a year away, but we're getting darn close. I just want to show you this. So we have this OpenGov here with Polkadot where people can put up various things that they want governance to vote on. That's a big part about Polkadot, the governance. And there's a lot of influencers that want to do these packages for Polkadot. I'm not saying anything bad about that. You have Wendy O, I think, that wants 50,000 for a certain amount of videos, and some other big content creators. And Minus and myself, we're not that big, right? We're not of that caliber of creator. But we put up our own where for 3dot, we're going to do one video. Now, I think we're actually going to do a series of them, but we're only promising one. So we'll see if this goes through. You can go vote here on Polka Assembly. It's number 307. And again, we're going to do, it's not for money. We're just going to do this explanatory video where hopefully we can get people excited about Polkadot and run through some really cool stuff. And I'll tell you this, even if it doesn't go through, we're probably going to do it anyway and do a series of them. But, if you're into Polkadot, go over here and vote for us. And again, our charge to do this is going to be 3dot. So pretty reasonable here. Lastly, we see NVIDIA and ARM teaming up. And to me, this is really exciting. Because if you use those ARM computers on Macintosh, it's a game changer. I mean, those, even if you're on an iPad, you can rip through 4K video. Those iPads don't even have fans, right? Like you can just do, really intensive stuff, and the thing doesn't even need to breathe. Like these chips are killer. And I've always asked, how much of that is Apple's design or is it ARM's architecture? Well, we're going to find out here because Windows, they're losing a lot of market share to those Mac machines. And so they want to have something that can compete. So from what I understand, they're getting NVIDIA and ARM to team up to make PC type chips. And this will be big for both, home computers that we're going to get, AI computers. This is going to be massive. And if they can do anything close to what ARM did with Apple in designing those chips, watch out Intel, watch out AMD. This is going to be killer. And I can't wait to see what they roll out here. Because, man, on the Apple machines, those ARM chips are fantastic. And I would love to see what they can do with Windows. Let me know what you think down below. And as always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.